and ManCity. And it's going to be a battle where the Grandmaster and the students are going to come to pit their tent against one another. I'm telling you, this is going to be the 64th time that Arsenal will be playing against ManCity. Haven't played since 2019. Somehow his Grandmaster has been flattering. He has lost 2 matches against Mikel Arteta one. And somehow he was able to take Manchester United to the cleaners, beating them by 3 goals to nothing. Then when I watched Man City, I'm still not convinced that they are that team that has the formidability they had in the past season. And for Arsenal, I'm also not totally convinced with the way we're playing. I still feel we're playing with a handbrake. I feel we're not playing with that level of intensity, that level of authority on the pitch, considering the depth in personnel that we have at the moment. Because the way I feel and I see our team, I believe that we should be able to take any team to the cleaners without mincing words. It all boils down to Arteta's tactical norms. Because if he gets it right, there is no team in the Premier League that can defeat Arsenal current team. Considering the fact that we have got the best back line in the entire Europe. When you remove a Gabriel Magalhaes, there is a Hincapi. When you remove Hincapi, there is a Califiori. When you remove Califiori, there is a nice Lewis Kelly. Come to the right side. You've got Jurin Timber. You've also got a Saliba. You've got Ben White. So there are a lot of depth that we have. But at the moment, I'm still not convinced with what we're doing. But I believe that this year, if Arteta really put his tactical norms to play and stop doing the dilly-dally thing of overthinking, I think that is one of the biggest challenges that Arteta has this season. He's overthinking on a couple of things, and that is really affecting the way we're playing. Because when I look back at the way we played against Liverpool at Anfield, I just feel bad because that is a match that the worst result would have not. It would have been a draw rather than going to pitch tent and getting that loss, that sublime strike by Soboslai. But at the end of the day, it's all about what I call a learning curve. You need to learn in order to up the momentum of your game. Now, looking at the thing the way it is, I also feel that Arteta also need to up his game, especially when it comes to dictating how his players play. Especially when you look at the way Madueke takes the ball towards his opponent, is direct in his play, but he overdoes it. He overplays this thing, and at the end of the day, the attack is suffering. I want him to be more professional, have a more, how do I call it, have a more tactical awareness. When you get to those daring area, those areas that put your opponents in a nitty gritty or a nervy position, that you should make your pass count. That is what makes Bukayo Saka a world class. Because Bukayo Saka does not have that perchance of taking the ball to you directly at every now and then, but he has this attitude of always knowing when to play the pass and when to shoot. Because a Madueke ought to have notched at least 3 goals, notwithstanding from the game against uh, Liverpool, the game against Nottingham Forest, and the game against Atletico Bilbao in Bilbao. But these are the things that we need to change. And while we're looking at these key areas, I'm going to be looking at what I see as my perceived first 11 for that game. But let us come to Man City. Despite the fact that I said I've not seen Man City, I still don't believe that they are, that super solid team of the past years. But they also have a core knitted squad. Now the thing is that I don't understand. I don't know whether it has to do with the idea of when a team gets to that climax, then you start retrogressing. Probably that is what is affecting them. Every team suffered it. United suffered it. Liverpool suffered it. Real Madrid suffered it. Barcelona suffered it. Because when a team is on that high tempo of giving their energy, their best in game after game, they're at a point you just see them suddenly, they just start dropping. The momentum start dropping. And when they even win matches, they just barely have to scrap. And that is what we're also seeing in Liverpool this season. They are on top of the tree, that like we always say. But at the moment, all their results, they are scrapping their results. So one thing I always say is that even when you want to be a title contender, you still need an atom of luck. Luck can account for that. If you want to talk about luck, ask United. When Fergie was there were times that United weren't at their best. But somehow they scrap results, they keep scrapping results, and at the end of the day, they become winners of the Premier League. And basically, that is what is happening to Liverpool. But I hope, as time goes on, that they're going to correct it. Now, let's come to the key equation, what we're talking about. We're talking about Man City. Man City team, the way it is at this moment, the only thing I see that improved against they playing against Manchester United was their high press. The high press was so good that they made it very difficult for United to play out from the back. Possibly, it was a ploy for them to stop United from really playing active with their 3-5-3 formation that Amorim is playing. They didn't allow United to detect the pace, the play, and at the end of the day, they were able to get a better part of United. But I also believe that if United had played a 4-4-2, that they would have beaten or even gotten a draw against Man City. Because you could see that a lot of players were played in awkward position, and that really didn't work out well. So coming to this match now, if you're looking at it, what I'm looking at is, I know the person that has made a key difference for Man City that is going to make them up their game is their rival of Donnarumma. Donnarumma has really brought some level of sanity in the back line, and you could see him each time he stops a save. I mean, you see the energy in which he uses in celebrating, and that is trying his chances. You will not see him in a game, but somehow when he gets those chances, he notches them. And Bernardo Silva is playing at his best, but currently Rodri isn't playing at his best. So they leave a lot of yawning opportunity in the midfield because at a point it's like Rodri is playing a yeoman's job and playing two persons game. Against Arsenal, is not going to get that because against Arsenal, where you have some good ball players, in the way Zubimendi controls the ball, that was exactly what Rodri was doing for them. I think the injury to Rodri that is sustained and he coming back now is really not been able to get to that his optimal level of playing. But let's see what happens. You never can tell. Players can just wake up and they just switch on to that top level draw way of playing. But against this Arsenal side, when you're seeing Zubimendi controlling play, the way he takes the pace, and you have a player in the likes of Declan Rice, and I would have loved to see an Eberichi. Well, we'll come to that. Now, the question is, it is the battle between the master and the student. Do you think Mikel Arteta has what it takes to undo Pep Guardiola at the Emirates come that Super Sunday battle? Because it is something that has happened before. Arsenal have defeated them. And just like I rightly said from the outset, for 63 times that Arsenal have played against ManCity overall, Arsenal have not 27 victories against ManCity's 25 victories. I think they've shared 10 draws apart. But each time they play, it promises to be a relishing encounter with a lot of goals that are going to come in. So that is why they've scored 184 goals. So this 64th debacle is really going to be something that is going to put everybody on their edge, because I'm telling you, from the first blow of the whistle, it's going to be real energy for energy. Especially, Man City will be coming to the Emirates to try as much as possible to upsurge that 5-1 bashing that they received in the hands of the Emirates guys. So, while the Emirates guys, I'm talking about the Gunners, they will be looking at consolidating that victory by showing them that, look, in the time past you used to beat us, it's no longer like that. So this time we're showing a new level of agility, new level of possession football. Now I'm going to be looking at our team, Arsenal. Who are the players that you think should play? For me, I want to draw my lineup. My lineup is going to be such that I want to take the ball to Man City. I don't want them to breathe. But one guy that I wouldn't have loved to start, but also, even when he starts, there's something that he gives us, especially that high pressing. If Arsenal want to maintain their high pressing, the person that does that high press is Martin Odegaard. But at the moment, I just feel Martin Odegaard, since he returned from injury last season, he hasn't hit the high heights that we were expecting. But we saw him playing for Norway. He was very phenomenal. He played well and he did well. And at the point, humorously, I was saying off camera that possibly because he had a new cut, and as a result of that, he's a new man. So until he sustained that injury against Nottingham Forest in, I think, about the 8th minute of the match. But we hope that he will come back better. But now let's look at my lineup for this match. My lineup for this match, I want to start with David Raya in goal. I want to start with Jurin Timber, because I know Jurin Timber is never going to give Doku the opportunity to do those navy and tireless runs that he did against United. He's never going to have that opportunity with Jurin Timber. Now, if you ask me, to be honest, I want to see a Christian Mosquera retain his position, not Saliba. Was on the bench against Atletico Bilbao, but I want to see Christian Mosquera continue to play. Because if you ask me why I want Mosquera, in the last couple of matches before the season ended in 2024-2025 season, I am of the opinion that Saliba was beginning to lose his solidity, was making some unnecessary errors that I didn't expect from him. So, and you could see also that when he goes for a tussle in the air, he's losing the air duels. And that for me is a big problem. But look at Christian Mosquera. He's not losing any of his duels. He wins all of them, the area duels and the ground duels. And that is what we want. And he wins his duels right at the middle of the pitch. So he doesn't even allow the opponents to come, because you're going to be seeing what Haaland will be doing is to move from Gabriel Magalhaes to Christian Mosquera, knowing that Gabriel Magalhaes is not going to give him any chance. So at the end of the day, we need some level of formidability. And that formidability that we're talking about, I believe Christian Mosquera and Gabriel Magalhaes playing are really going to give us that formidability in the center of the park. There on the left side, Calafiori has been undoubtedly phenomenal in the way he's been playing for club and country. Going forward, he's super solid. And that inverted role that we're always looking out for, where our wing backs are always joining the attack in the midfield, he's been doing it very well. So I want to see Jurin Timber on the right side, Christian Mosquera, Gabriel Magalhaes in the middle. I want to see Calafiori. And in the sixth, keep a Zubimendi there. Zubimendi is as cool as a cucumber. He's calm, cool, and calculated. He's unfazed, even though this is a league that is just playing for the first season. For him to have that level of calmness and for him to have even scored that sublime, it was that was not an easy goal to take against Nottingham Forest, and that I'm sure is really going to boost his confidence going forward. I want to see I want to see Declan Rice, and I want to see an Berry Cheese in the 10 rather than playing Merino just like Arteta has been doing. I don't want to see the deployment of three defensive midfielders. I know Merino brings some level of additions in the attack, but no, I want to see an Berry Cheese in the 10. So in the midfield, it's going to be Zubimendi, Declan Cheze. On the right side, we see from Grapevine, recently, not even Grapevine, we see from snippets of photos from the Arsenal training ground, Bukayo Saka have resumed training. But rather than throwing him into this frenzy, I want to see Madueke continue what he has started playing on that flank. Then we can have a Trossard on the left side. Can put a Trossard on the left side because Trossard is that your sniper. He doesn't waste time in taking shots, whether you like it or not. Martinelli has not learned his lessons. Why did I say that? Yes, he did a fantastic sub performance, but in that match against Atletico Bilbao, if Cinnamon, or rather Simon had his grip on that ball, he would have caught that ball because the ball went through his hand. When he was already on the floor, I would have expected Martinelli to keep his cool, raise his head up, and dink the ball into the net rather than flashing it across. So that was an error from the goalkeeper that gifted us that goal. So even though he came in and did the yeoman's job, I played well. The only thing I think I would give him credit for was that pass he gave Trossard, because ideally, the Martinelli that I know, that you and I know, that we all know, would have loved to dribble and lose that ball. But he was tactical enough to break and give the pass. And as a result, Trossard was able to notch his chance. So I would rather prefer a Trossard to get started on the left side and give Victor Gyökeres the opportunity to trouble the ManCity defense. The ManCity defense is not that from. They're still making errors. A lot of catalog of errors that they are making. All you just need is a team to take advantage of them. That was what Brighton did. Even Wolves, they were lucky against Wolves. But I believe Mikel Arteta has the arsenal to take the 3 points at stake against Man City come Sunday. Now, let's come to the point where we're going to be looking at predictions. What are your predictions? Let me know what your predictions are. Let us know. What are you looking at? Do you think we're going to repeat the 5-1? No, I don't think so. It's not going to be like that. I'm looking at a game where, let me look at the crystal ball with my eyes shut. My crystal ball says Arsenal is going to win this game by 3-1. I see Arsenal scoring, and Man City will bring the game to us, and they will score, but we're going to take them to the cleaners because we'll have what it takes. It is even better that Rodri is playing this time around, so that let us see, because in the time past, the Citizens fans have been saying, oh, we lost Rodri is not there, oh, there's nothing we can do, blah, 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 as if only Rodri is going to play the entire positions in the team, or rather in the game. So let us know what your views are on this edition of a match preview prior to the Super Sunday debacle. You need to be there wherever you are globally. You need to come out en masse, whether you're at home, whether in the viewing center, whether at the Emirates. We need to show the audacity to let anyone know that the Emirates is not a stomping ground for anybody. You come, we'll take you to the cleaners. And that is what it must be this season. That's why I said we must have the audacity to go to any ground and beat anybody. And we have to make the Emirates our fortress. When you come to the Emirates, no matter what kind of team or formation you're going to be playing with, we'll take you to the cleaners. And don't forget to keep liking, keep sharing, keep subscribing, keep making yourself active in this community. Together, we're building this community to an optimal level. It is because you've been doing this that we'll keep on growing. This has been on this edition of Arsenal Fans Beat. On this live, I want to say victory is what is going to be for Arsenal come Super Sunday. Until then, from me to you, it is come on, you Gunners!